Welcome everybody to the weekly Lunch and Learn. I'm your host, Natalia Nicholson. Every week, Women in Digital Business bring you our weekly Lunch and Learn Masterclass, either delivered by myself, Natalia Nicholson, or from one of our coaches or mentors that are in our community. And if you are interested in being a speaker, a coach, or a mentor in the Women in Digital Business community, please do reach out to us. In the chat, we will put a link to how you can become a coach, and we have got a huge summit coming up, and we are also looking for speakers. So use the Become a Coach link if you're interested in either speaking at our events, becoming a coach, a mentor and trainer in our community. Just express your interest by filling a form out. Princess is going to put a link to a Becoming a Coach. Just fill it out, we'll review it, and if we feel like you'll be a great speaker at our summit coming up in March, top 100 powerful black women, woohoo! Fill it out. And again, if you know that you're a coach and consultant and you can really bring value to the women in our audience, our community, should I say, again, just fill it out and we will come back to you. So we're going to kick off today. We're going to kick off today with some foundation stuff of really understanding business models. I was literally just saying before we officially started this session, you know, there's a lot of things when you don't know, you don't know. And a lot of it for black female entrepreneurs, I know, so for me, it's been a lot of the structural foundation stuff. And when you build a business based on a house of cards or weak foundation, the problems just keep coming up and up in the early days. And that's sometimes what can just make us feel tired, exhausted, overworked, feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting anywhere. And just that constant battle comes. So we want to cut some of that out for you. We want to really be able to show you this is how you set a strong foundation, which makes it easier for you to be able to grow and then scale. Okay, so we're going to get started. Right, let me share my screen. Here we go. We are sharing, and let's go into present mode. So today we're really going to be looking at business models, and please don't go anywhere. Please don't think, oh my God, dull, boring business model. Who needs business models in the digital age? You know, we've got our selling on social media, you know, we've got things working, you know, who needs a model? And in one sense, you know, these are the things that it's easy to bog ourselves down, especially when it comes to business planning. I'm someone that really does believe that, you know, business plans, I don't know why, are a structure that's given to us by an institutional education system, that the people that put the structure together don't come from entrepreneurialism or running their own business. So sometimes it becomes this mechanical document, and it's also a document for banks, for funding institutes. It tends to be a document that you're almost judged on to be able to get something, whether that's, you know, funding, whether that's mentoring, whether that's help. It's a document that you produce that you are determined on whether you have a good business or not. Okay, so you need a document for yourself. You need a plan for yourself. You need a strategy for yourself. You need to answer the fundamental questions that's going to get your business actually visible. And business modeling is at the absolute center of that. So we today are really going to look at, you know, understanding what business model are you going for. If you can structure your business and you understand what business model you're going for, it's easier for you to be able to build a strategy and easier for you to have KPIs and objectives and understand and know what you're working towards. So before we kick off, just some ground rules today. Frame your mind. Approach this class with an open and curious mindset. You know, be ready to learn. If you can have cameras on, it's great to put a face to a name. If not, I get it. We're at home. We're all in different conditions. If you can keep your microphones on mute. However, please feel free to contribute or share at the end of the session. And if it is something that's pressing, actually come off mute. Let's try and make this a live classroom. Okay, active participation is so important. So use the chat, converse with one another, get to know each other, and really support one another. Okay, so learning objectives today. We want to demonstrate knowledge of various business models. I want you to understand the different business models out there. You're going to start attaching them to bigger brands to really think, okay, never looked at it like that. That would be really good for our business. You want to understand the purpose and creation of the business model canvas. And when I go through it, it is quite life-changing. We ran this session for businesses that are putting together tenders and documents to go and get funding and grants. And what we found is that when we delivered this module of understanding business models, the penny dropped in a lot of areas for them in their strategy of how to get to market and get customers and keep growing and scaling, by understanding that if they had a structure to actually follow and understood the business model, it answers a lot of questions that we often feel really lost, or we're in the dark thinking, what way now? Where do I go? Okay, so we're really going to understand the purpose for it. So now let's set the goal for the rest of the class. So what is a business model? A business model is an outline for your company to make money. So in general, a business model explains things like what product or service a company will sell, how it intends to market that product or service, what kind of expenses will the company face, how will the company expect to turn a profit. So business modeling kind of takes you out of that creativity mindset of really having to come up with a product, come up with a service, understanding who your audience is, packaging it together, which is the value proposition. You know, we're not selling the actual product or service, we're selling the impact and the difference of what that product and service does for our end user. So when you think of business modeling, what now happens is you now to start thinking about the maths and the money, and you really start thinking about things in more of a business structure type of way, and it just keeps you on track, because otherwise it's really easy to get lost in the dark and start going everywhere. And we start listing different people. 1 minute it's a podcast, one stage it was a Clubhouse phenomenon, next is I need to be doing more reels, I need to get into AI, and you're constantly swapping and changing with all this creativity and the use of technology. But without no plan or strategy and that structure, you can end up going in so many different directions. So let's look at the types of business models there are. We got freemium. No one knows who you are. You've got a great product. So what do? You make a freemium version that really showcases. So companies that use freemium business models tend to include both a free and a paid service. So typically a business will lure a new customer in with a free subscription. However, it's free for only a limited period, or maybe it's free with some basic settings and features. So the software market does this a lot. If you look at apps like, Canva, Slack, these are all softwares that have got paid services, but they've got a freemium level. Okay, whether you can test it and use it day to day. And it also means that they're getting loads of reviews. You're shining the spotlight on your business when you have got freemium, but you've got to make sure the goods and the services deliver. Because you want to get that talking going. So other types of businesses that use freemium is Uber Eats. I can honestly say I never used Uber Eats until 2024, and yet I got a whole free service, and from there I've been using it more. Facebook got a complete freemium model, haven't we, with social media, but you can pay for it to really be able to get the use out of it better. Alibaba, freemium level, we go through an app, we can look. PayPal, they've all got a freemium level, and there are so many businesses that I can give you examples of, like I said, Slack and Canva. So this is where you've got a model that includes both free and paid. Okay, so when you know you've got this model, I'm going to give you an example of how it's useful. You've already had a freemium level to your product or service. So why would you keep giving free things away? Okay, that's your main lead magnet. That's how you're going to attract people into your community. So when it comes to your marketing strategy, you should be building on from the people that are warm traffic and warm leads have come into the freemium version. And I've made this mistake myself as well. Instead, as business owners, we think, let's create more things. We want to get more customers in. We're giving a piece of our product away or service for absolutely free. What more do we actually really need to do? Some of us might feel like, I don't want to devalue my product and have that freemium. And you've got to think about, what is your objective here? Is your objective that nobody knows who you are and you need brand awareness? Is it that people know who you are? You've got a great brand, you've got great assets, but you're not creating any leads? The freemium model can bring you a whole host of leads. If you've then got a CRM system in place, or an email marketing model, or either a messenger model like WhatsApp or Messenger, guess what? You can nurture those leads that came in of them signing up to freemium and convert them into paying customers. Okay, but that might not be the model for you. But can you see how the model starts to now give you a whole load of ideas of how you're really going to get people to buy from you again and again and again, and make sure that you're servicing your marketplace? Okay, then we got the subscription model. And some of the models can cross over. Something like Canva and Slack have got freemium structures, but they're also, if you paid, they could be subscriptions. So sometimes you can be a bit of both, if that makes any sense. So a business with a subscription business typically provides consumers with certain services for a fixed monthly, quarterly, or annual fee. So using company segments, the market, usually a company, will segment the market and then make several offers with different features. So a great example of this is Netflix, Spotify, and the Dollar Shave Club. By the way, the Dollar Shave Club is an excellent case study when it comes to really looking at a business model that works really well. And look at business models, ladies. You know, look at businesses that have worked really, really well. Think about, how can I adapt to that model? Sometimes we want to be so new to the market, so innovative and so different. You know, we ignore the things that are working here and now and think, okay, how can I introduce the things that are working? So companies that will use this a lot is Netflix. Like Netflix, do you know Netflix has got a basic that I didn't even know about? Someone was saying to me, you can just do like, is it $4.99? Help me out in the comments. And I think that's one of their basics. I always thought that Netflix started at like £10. I'm in the UK, by the way. £10.99, and obviously that gives you a certain amount of profiles that you can use. So again, can you see with Netflix, it's subscription, but there's different levels of that subscription. Just with Spotify, you can get Spotify for your whole family. Maybe you're just by yourself. So it's about creating packages, but subscription model is where someone pays again and again and again over a period of time. And in this instance, this is where you want to look at, okay, for subscription, how long will people subscribe to my product or service? Something like Netflix, you know, because I watch TV, family watches TV, it's almost like I feel like I'm going to be paying that $10.99 for a lifetime, and it will go up and down. Spotify as well. It's got my whole music catalog on there. But maybe you're selling a product or service that maybe after 3 to 6 months, your audience gets, you know, not necessarily tired. There can be so many reasons. They might get tired. They might feel like I haven't got much money. So this is a bit like gym membership. It'd be one of the first things to go. So with a subscription model, you want to think about, what's the average time someone will subscribe to me? What's the lifetime commitment that someone gives on a subscription? Again, it's going to help you plan your business and manage it, right? It's very easy with a subscription business to say, my subscription is £30 a month. And in your mind, you're like, if I get 1,000 customers, that's £300,000. And, you know, you think that's what you're making. There's fluctuations. People will tail off. So it's important to understand your customer life cycle. Do you see what business modeling does? It gets down to the grassroots of business that sits in any discipline. Yes, I'm a digital marketing specialist. Yes, I build funnels for a living and I'm very, very good at it, but I sit in marketing. There's 5 other functions to think about in a business, which is operations and logistics, HR, IT and technology, finance and accountancy, and like I said, marketing. So business modeling makes you start to really look at the whole business from a bird's eye view. Okay, so really important. Next, we got peer-to-peer, a really popular type of business model that I feel people tend to overlook. And then when they do a session like this, they'll think to themselves, actually, that's a bit of me, or actually, that's my business model. So under peer-to-peer business model, a business serves as an intermediary between 2 parties. So the intermediary takes a commission for driving value for both the demand and the supply side. So for example, if we were to look at Airbnb, okay, the service charges is a commission when a host and a hostee make a deal and carry out a transaction. So really great examples of this would be your Airbnb, Uber, Etsy, Upwork. Typically they're marketplaces, okay? So this is where really you're connecting people. Okay, and within that, there's a fee that comes out of that you get to keep. And there's many business different can't get the words out today, different business models. But peer-to-peer is definitely one that is quite often overlooked. You know, even for us here at Women in Digital Business, we are actually peer-to-peer ourselves. We invite women into our community. We help support them with loads of resources, tools and tactics. And yes, we offer courses and programs, but we also invite coaches and mentors and other people to offer their services to really be able to help Black women along. So this is peer-to-peer, okay? But we can also fall into other categories as well. You know, we used to be a subscription model business and we actually changed that last year, because one of the things that we do here at our core is give value. The information you get from this community is not low level, okay? I consult in really big organizations. I go to some of the biggest conferences. We test things out. We test things out with our own advertising budget, with our clients' advertising budget. We build other people's brands, businesses by building out funnels. Okay, so we've had a lot of experience in this. So within our community, we do the same thing as well. We bring other people in and say, hey guys, if you need help in these areas, these are some of the best women, you know, get them to help you. That is a peer-to-peer business. Okay, and like I said, we've had to change our business modeling over the last 2 years to really find that sweet spot, because our problem used to be that we offer things at such a good price or rate. That's what I was saying before, by the way. I kind of got lost there. We offer things at such a great price, and like I said, we don't offer just bottom line information. We really dive in and help you. We've got a wealth of experience, but because we charge prices that we feel and know that you can afford as a business owner to really catapult your journey, sometimes it devalues us because people aren't seeing the true value. They're not understanding, because when you don't know something, you don't know. It's only when you start doing it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is like real high level. So Women in Digital Business has become peer-to-peer. You've also got direct sales. A direct sales business model takes place when a company adds a personal touch to a sales process. So in other words, a sales representative is selling a product directly to an end customer. So it can be one-on-one, it can be a group meeting, okay? Models of business, I'm getting really tongue-tied today. Businesses that have this model, some of them are Amy Way, Avon, Mary Kay. Okay, so these are businesses that can go and sell directly to consumers. They take a commission. It's direct sales. It's in the form, it's actually like in-person affiliate marketing. And just so you know, we actually have amalgamated this with peer-to-peer. We realize that in today's digital world, oh my gosh, as business owners and entrepreneurs, content creators, coaches and consultants, sell. We're just constantly being sold to all the time, to the point that you just feel exhausted in trying to get help, because there's so many people coming at you telling you they can help you, they can do this to you, they can 10x you. And it becomes really overwhelming. But what we do know about direct sales, because there is so much noise in the marketplace and a lot of people misserving us, selling us coaching, consulting, marketing packages that don't really get us to where we need to be. Okay, it's really, really important that you still have human connection. So what we've done is a peer-to-peer service. When we're selling our own products and service, we're getting on a call with you, because we want to make sure that we're attracting the right customers so we can grow and have scalability. Do you see what understanding what type of business model you're going for does? It starts to make you think very three-dimensionally. It starts to get you to understand, this is the model, this is what we need to achieve, these are the KPIs, this is the amount of people that we need to make aware of us, this is the amount of people we need to get leads from, we need to convert on 5% of those leads to turn into conversion, to get the KPIs to set, so we can reach all the goals, dreams and objectives that we have set out, which is why we are entrepreneurs. We want a better life. We want to share experience, make other people have a better life. Mess up many coaches and consultants. That's what drives us. So the business model is a way to really get you to start looking at your business objectively and get over some objections that might be holding you back that you can't see. Because, finish the sentence with me, when you don't know, you don't know. And when you know, you know. Okay, it's as simple as that. We've also got the aggregator. The aggregator business model is a network model. So a business is an aggregator if it provides information about a specific service and sells it. So usually the service is branded. So Amazon and eBay, they are aggregators, okay? They are into everything. To think that Amazon started off as a book company, my first e-commerce company, which was the one that caused me to go bankrupt and was actually the best experience in my life and brought me to where I am now. I wanted to compete against Amazon and be a multicultural bookstore. I wanted to show the Black community and population worldwide about our history, how rich it is, where we come from, to give us a sense of direction. And I felt like it was a really important thing. That was actually my first business. And that was me trying to be an aggregator. But it's a big job with a big mission. And maybe back then I wasn't quite ready for it, but Lord knows I'm ready for it now. So bring it on. So this is a model that is definitely legacy. Okay, it really is here to disrupt the marketplace. And if you think about how Amazon's disrupted the marketplace, who knew Amazon was going to be the giant that it is now? It's monopolizing so many different industries without us even realizing it. Okay, it provides information about all different types of services, products, and it sells it, and it has other sellers selling it. So it's much more of a complex business model, but what a great legacy business. You've also got the wholesaler. Traditional business model in the B2B segment. A wholesale is a supply chain. Each party involved in the supply chain is a wholesale business. So we can say those who sell raw material to manufacturers, or suppliers and distributors who sell, goods to retailers, fall into that wholesale business model. So again, companies like Alibaba and eBay. And do you see some of the examples I'm using are coming up again? So sometimes you can cross into one or two business models. But if you're anything over three, way too much going on. And this is what a lot of us do. Yes, that product and service can be subscription. Then we can have peer-to-peer. Then we'll be the aggregator. Guess what? We can now sell business to business. How many things can we do as a solo entrepreneur or someone with a small team? And these are the things that will end up putting us back. It's good to have one clear business model, go for it, monetize, make what you set out to make by selling those KPIs. The maths, ladies. It's another reason why you need to come to the community. I hate maths, but the maths is really important. Understanding how much impressions you need to get, how many leads you need to get, and how that converts into actual conversion of sales, and what your conversion rates are on all of those touch points is key to say, I want to make 200,000 by the end of this year. It's January 2025. If you're saying to me, I want to get to 6 figures, you need to plan and be intentional and really figure out, how am I going to get there? And the maths, and no, I'm not talking about balance sheets or cash flows or any of those documents. Know your numbers when you go on those shows like Shark Tank and Dragon Den. Yes, they're great when you're looking for a VC, but when you need a plan to be able to scale your business or be able to grow your business, or hell, just to get your business actually even viable, you need to know the maths in terms of how many people do I need to make aware of me? Out of that awareness, I'm going to spend X amount. What percentage do I need to convert to make sure I'm getting leads? When I get those leads in, how much conversion do I need to make to turn in that's going to actually buy from me? What products in each customer segment, what are they going to buy from me? We want to know the maths. We want to track all of the data so we're not wandering around in the dark anymore. That's the power of digitalization, ladies. It's not just about being able to use the softwares. So be careful not to be falling into too many of the different types of business models, okay? So wholesaler is B2B. And sometimes B2B always seem to think there's some type of different magic that's different from business to consumer. B2B, it might be business marketing to another business, but whoever the decision maker is in that business, they are human. They talk, they smell, they go toilet, they do all the same things that we do as consumers. They're on social media channels. These are people. So business to business, you can still use the same frameworks of business to consumer. Both sides just need to be really in tune with who their audience is and what do they do. B2B, you're looking things at more from a professional viewpoint. Okay. And sometimes we can get confused. Me, myself, I'm a digital marketing coach. I build out funnels for a living, but actually I do it for other businesses. Because I work so much with other entrepreneurs, somewhere in my mind, it's like I'm B2C. I'm not, I'm actually B2B. And then sometimes when I actually say, a lot of our clients are coaches and consultants, it was the very marketplace I've been running away from for years. I used to think coaches and consultants, I used to be one they get sold to, they're oversold to, it's a saturated marketplace. Well, let me tell you something, the coaching market, do you know 70% of coaching and consulting businesses don't actually get to 6 figures? The coaching marketplace and the consulting marketplace is doing nothing but growing. Grows every single year, and the growth is actually quite big. And the wealth is sitting with 30% of coaches and consultants. So there's money in this marketplace. But understand who your audience is, understand your business model. Because like I said, I never really viewed myself as a wholesaler or B2B. Because in my mind, when people say, so you target coaches and consultants, it was like a swear word. No, I don't. I'm not going for that market because it feels like everyone's going for that market. But how many people are in that 6 figure and over in that 30%? And really, that's what you want to get to. So another type of business model for any of you here that are developing a software, and we had loads of people on our funding masterclass who were writing programs and putting software together, known as SaaS. So SaaS is software as a service. So your Canva and Slack is a subscription model. It's got freemium and it's also SaaS. Even the big boys, you're not going to see them go over more than one model. It's always, does that make any sense? And you're still going to have one primary model, if that makes any sense. And for Asana, your Canvas, your Slack, your HubSpot, they're going to sit in SaaS because they are typical giants and leaders of software as a service. So this is a delivery business model and it's implemented by tech companies that lease the software to customers via central cloud-based systems. So typically clients pay a subscription fee, making it a subscription model, to get a license. But really it sits in SaaS. It doesn't sit in subscription or freemium really because they're licensing their software out. The freemium, they're just different tiers. But understanding these business models, again, can you see how it just brings your planning and strategy together? It really does. Because even when you're using other types of business models, it opens up your mind to make sure, okay, if this is the model, how are we going to sell this model? And it just stops that shiny object syndrome of just starting loads of marketing campaigns, coming up with loads of products and services that you think, well, at least one's going to land. No, we want to know which ones are going to land and how much they're going to land for and really work in a strategic way. Another type of business model that is becoming more popular is drop shipping. So in short words, it's a store that doesn't have stock. It purchases the products from a third-party supplier, commonly a wholesaler or manufacturer, who ships them directly to the end customer. So there is no need for inventory and the seller doesn't have to handle the product. It's usually a good option for entrepreneurs, especially beginners, because there's no need to open the bricks and mortar store. There's no need to do that at all anymore in this day and age with e-commerce. And obviously they don't have that big investment on all the stock. So drop shipping is essentially, you're a middleman. Very hard to make money from. However, it's not just about money in this digital age. It's also about creating an audience, creating a community. If you create a community to get to know, like, and trust you, they will buy various different products for you when they need it, not when you're trying to push it on them. And that's what really creating a customer journey is all about, making sure you're available to your target audience and the segments within your target audience at the right time of the customer life cycle. Because there's going to be a time in all of your audience's lifetime that they're going to need you. And that's when you want them to find your content. But drop shipping is a great way for you to build lead generation. You might not make loads of money from it, but what you will make is an audience that you understand what they need. You provide it from them, so you're getting yourself leads. So when you are ready to invest in your own products and get those margins in, guess what? You've got a market to sell to. Okay, and that's one of the things that we forget about drop shipping. And sometimes we are so on the money so much, we just don't understand that we have to be able to get the awareness, we have to be able to get the leads, and then we have to be able to convert. If you want to jump into the convert stage, you're just going to keep being that one night wonder where you jump from not being known and through cold traffic get to conversion. And everyone's like, way! And then all of a sudden you start to see it dwindle. It's a one night wonder business because you've gone straight from cold to conversion. When you have a strategy and a customer journey that really warms the relation up with your customer and you're really nurturing, you're getting leads and you're nurturing them, you will always keep bringing conversion and sales in. Not every time you're selling is your audience ready to buy, and you've got to understand that. So lead generation, I don't think we understand how valuable it is. And this is one business model, drop shipping, that will give you access to creating your own audience and community, which you could then start selling your own products to and get those margins in. Okay, it's not just about the money. You know, it's about being really smart and learning how to build meaningful relationships through technology, through the laptop, through the phone, on a TikTok live. Really, really important. You know, through the tablet, through all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. It's really about being able to create that following. Okay, money is not everything in online selling. The leads will bring you the money. Okay, your job is to get the leads. It's to get the following, get the community, get people interested in you. So another type of business model is franchising. So the franchise business model is usually the business model chosen by those who want to start a new business, but they do not have much idea how to begin it. So the franchising system really allows you to acquire ready-made businesses with consolidated brand and that have already been tried, tested, and they give you the whole model. They give you absolutely everything. So types of models like this are McDonald's, Subway, KFC, at a much larger scale, at a smaller scale. A lot of those, if you've got children, those little football clubs that you go to, the little ballets, Razzmatazz, the drama school, these are franchise models, okay, that people will buy into. It's in a box, they can just set it up, get going. But obviously they've got to pay a licensing fee, which is no different to affiliate marketing to a point, or even joint ventures. So franchising can be quite an interesting model. Okay, and if you are in this, you are in this line and in this world of franchising, it can be a little bit different because it comes with many restrictions. Like if you've got a part of a big franchise and you've got a region, you can't come out of that region. Okay, so you've also got franchising. Franchising will give you that comfortability of giving it to you all. You've got the retailer, e-commerce, a retail business model. Retailers buy from distributors and they sell directly to the customers. The thing is, we don't have physical shops anymore. We've got e-commerce, and e-commerce is an incredibly, incredibly great place to be. Hard to break into, but great place to be. And I think when you're in e-commerce, you are going from more cold traffic into sales. But people are generally looking for you, or they're looking for a problem that you solve, and you sell the product to it. You know, when we're looking at the digital world, sorry everyone, I should really have an affiliate link, but Shopify has to be one of the best platforms that was ever invented. To really be able to set an e-commerce shop and have success, and have a piece of software that is user-friendly to a Canva and WhatsApp point of view, where you can manage it, create a business, and it gives you a lot of plugins, a lot of tools. There's a lot of Shopify experts that will really help you build your e-commerce business. TikTok has changed the e-commerce world. It's a platform where you can do so much product demonstrations. So again, if you've got a product, you want to be featuring the product, and you want to be featuring, what do you want to be featuring? You don't want to be featuring the features. The features is just what your product does. What you want to be featuring is the benefit and all the emotional benefits. That's what retail's about. You didn't know about this product. Now I'm showing you what it does. It's life-changing. I watched Shark Tank yesterday, and there was this device where you stuff this tube into a banana, it decools it, and then you can put Nutella or chocolate sauce in there, because a lot of people enjoy eating bananas with chocolate on it. Gimmicky, all the sharks tested it, they thought it was brilliant. They actually got a ridiculous offer to go to market, and this company was doing phenomenally well. It was turning over like over $8 million. But the reason why it could do that was because of product demonstration and channels like TikTok. Okay, it meant that it could really showcase what something did. You're showing the need to your audience. You're not just talking about it. You're not just saying it in words. You're giving physical short demonstrations where someone can identify, what the product's going to do for them. So you've got the retailer, you've got that, the e-commerce. And as we come really looking towards the end, now we're going to come more away from the commercial types of business models, and we've got the social enterprise. This is an area that is booming, where you really want to be able to serve a social cause, but it still needs to be a business. So a social business is a structure, of a framework that social business follow in order to bring about positive change while maintaining healthy financial rates. And there's five main ways that impact can be integrated into the business model. There's employment, creating jobs, operations and supply, philanthropy, products and services, and intrapreneurship. Okay, and we are seeing more social enterprises, and they're really needed. The only thing to be careful with social enterprises is that a social enterprise is going to have a cause. It's going to have meaning. It's going to want to definitely create objectives that makes the world a better place. And sometimes with social enterprising, funding can come along and say, we want you to follow these guidelines and make sure that you're reaching all of these audiences in this particular way with this particular this particular messaging. So what can happen is it can alter your plans of how you really want to implement change, because ultimately social enterprise is usually the person is from the background of the group that they're trying to help. So when an organization that doesn't come from that group comes in and says, we want to give you this money, but can you abide by what we need to be showing inside our government of how we're helping towards certain groups, and sometimes that cause can change. So be really clear on what it is that you want to achieve. And we've seen some great non-funded that have maybe turned into funding social causes. Black Lives Matter. Look at that hashtag and look what it's turned into. Okay, so social enterprising probably needs to do a whole nother masterclass on it, but maybe there's many of you probably even on this masterclass now that have got a business that you're either looking for CSR, corporate social responsibility, maybe you're looking for funding, maybe you're doing fundraising, and you're trying to change other people's lives. Okay, and I think many of us, especially coaches and consultants, are actually trying to do that ourselves, but we're very holistic, and maybe, you know, what we would see as social change isn't seen by what a social enterprise is within the sense of the legal entity of when you've got to actually go and register a business and abide by those sections of registering as a social enterprise. So again, you want to think about this. Many business models, there's many entrepreneurs I meet, they've got about 5-7 business models within their business plan. And this definitely is one. And I would say for those of you that are leaning towards social enterprise, we are here too at Women in Digital Business. Sometimes you've got to make a success of where we are. That's what we're doing now, where we are, so we can reinvest. So no one can tell us how our social enterprise has to work. So we want to build up and get into this. So we understand that it is a business model for us, but not just right now. That could be the case for you. It might be this is where you're starting. So, you know, choosing the right model, viability. A great business model will allow you for consistent and realizable profits. And how viable your business is, you know, does it illustrate strong profitability? How resistant is the business to external shocks or changes to costs? What external factors are present that determine the business success? You might choose a subscription model, and you're going to have to take into consideration, just like the gym world that's a subscription business, people tend to drop off after a certain point. So that's going to have direct impact on what bottom line you make annually to take that in. Okay, like I said, you might be a social enterprise getting funding and getting grants, but you have to spend that money in a specific way. That can now have an impact on your profitability and how you might even have to pay suppliers and people within the business. Okay, peer-to-peer. If you're taking fees and you're marrying two people up, are you marrying them up correctly? You know, if you're Airbnb, if, you know, your host is a nightmare, the property doesn't look like what it looks like, does that make sense? Now, the person booking the accommodation, Airbnb's put into questions. It's kind of like, well, you don't provide good quality hosts or accommodation. So each business model is going to really give you viability and kind of give you an idea of, okay, what type of income would we make from this business structure? And sometimes when you start investigating this, it might be the decision that actually I'll change business structure. Business model really helps you to understand all the elements of business and think, okay, you know, what is it that we're trying to do and nail it down? Otherwise, it just becomes really big and all over the place. So choosing the right model is also going to help you with scalability. A great business model is designed with growth in mind. So how easily can you scale your business, and how do the costs and profitability scale with the growth? You know, when I first started Women in Digital Business, I was definitely a solopreneur, and it was just me. You know, now we have other coaches and mentors. We've got a really great team. We churn out content. But in the beginning, it was just me. And I just used to get stuck on understanding, how do I really grow this business and scale? Because how do I make 10 mil? You know, what happens if I get knocked over by a bus? I'm just saying that these are the things that stop our business from, you know, being scalable. And it wasn't until I really understood, well, actually, you're a coach and a trainer yourself. And that's when we built the Women in Digital Business Academy, where it's like, right, this is the type of courses we offer. We're going to make sure they're standardized. You know, I've had years of great delivery, great reviews. Now we need to take the courses, write them, and make sure we train trainers that train just like me, that make the most complicated subjects in building out a digital funnel and having to think about content creation, software, automation, you know, all the more technical things that we're like, and run away from. And that's how I realized, okay, that's how we're really going to scale Women in Digital Business. In the beginning, I just couldn't see it. And I think had I have had a clear model in my head of what we were working towards as a business model, it probably would have come to me a lot sooner. Okay, so having a business model is going to really help you understand scalability and think, okay, what model and how do I grow within this model to be able to really scale my business, especially if it's based around you. Sustainability is huge. So a great business model should be designed to ensure that your business lasts a long time. So we can think of sustainability in terms of the business survival, but it's also the impact on the people and the planet. There's a lot more ethical buyers in the marketplace now. You know, I don't think it's just us. I'm going to say it. Yes, I'm on a TikTok live. Corporations and the system of this world needs to start taking responsibility, and they cannot keep pushing this to the small business owner and the end user. Okay, well, we want to be talking about landmines. We had H&M saying, oh, bring your clothes, we'll help other people, bring them. And it was a great way for them to use that as a lead magnet to lure people in their shop to buy more clothes that we don't even know what to do with. But all of that waste that was going through H&M is landing up on the shores of Ghana and all the other developing countries. So yes, we do have our part to play in sustainability, and I'm a big advocate for it, but the system and the conglomerates at the top need to start taking responsibility. Okay, you are the ones that putting this out there. It's like when you say, well, here's a hamburger, eat it 5 times a day, make it really accessible, make it really cheap. And they go, oh, we've got so much heart disease and it's all based on the fat people are eating. I am tired of everything getting passed on to the end consumers. We even book our own holidays. We've got to book everything because of marketplaces and technology. We don't get paid an hourly rate, isn't it? Just the way of the world. So think about sustainability, because you'd be surprised that you will connect with people through sustainability, because the thoughts, opinions and discussions that I'm having with you here, I have these discussions day in, day out. Okay, we all need to help with sustainability, but there are those that are actually creating the problem that just want to do something to take the attention off them, or not they take zero accountability and responsibility to what they do. Fast fashion's a big example. But anyway, that's a whole nother masterclass. But it can help with sustainability. Where can you make your products more sustainable? We do that in Women in Digital Business by really working with businesses that have digital products. So we're not leaving that carbon footprint behind. And even when we do work with businesses in e-commerce, we take into sustainability into consideration a lot. Like I said, the new generation coming up is very aware of it, and we do need to be more mindful of the planet. Diversity is included in sustainability as well. So more business ownership, more Black women owning their business. That's what we're rooting for, Women in Digital Business. Don't want to sit at the table anymore. Keep your table, keep your chair, keep the crumbs that fall off of it. We want to be creating ownership. And we want to do that through sustainability as well. Really important, because sustainability is also about diversity and fairness. There is not enough representation at the top, and that's why it's just a different decade with the same narrative that happening again and again and again. Sustainability will come with us building our own businesses and having ownership. Okay, so again, business models really get you to think outside of the book and about all different types of things. Agility, a great business model is designed with flexibility in mind. You have to learn how to pivot and adapt. One of my problems is I go all guns blazing. Woo! I'm a bull in a china shop. I want to do everything at the same time and conquer the world. And business modeling has taught me that if I want to reach my KPIs, you know what, Nat? Shiny object syndrome's kicked in. There's too much going on. Let's pull back. You know, quite often I'm creating loads of lead magnets. You know, I'm often in conversation with our community and people that know me. I hear great ideas and boom, I just want to go into implementation. But you've got to have flexibility in mind. We are in the first quarter of the year. Okay, be clear on what we're doing on this first quarter. Be clear on what we're doing on the second, the third and the fourth. Be intentional, plan and strategize. You know, agility is really important, but you have to be flexible. At all the times of those quarters, you need to be tracking everything and analysing everything. So for the next quarter, you can optimise and make changes that you need to make based on the lessons that you would have just got, especially from data. You want to be tracking everything you do. Okay, so again, having that business model, and especially if you've got a really well planned out funnel, a customer journey, oh my days, the two mixed together just give you so much power. It's absolutely unreal. So the business model Canva, now that we've considered the options of our business models, we can really represent them in a business canvas model. So it sets out the building blocks, which really describes the business in its absolutely entirety. Okay, make sure there will be a replay of this, by the way, so you will be able to, you know, in your own time. Those of you that are on a TikTok live, please make sure you join our community. Simply go to womenindigitalbusiness.com, go to login and just create an account. Obviously, you haven't got a login, so just click the button, create an account. And if you come into our community, you'll be able to get a replay of this video. So the business canvas model is really thinking about, okay, who are my key stakeholders? Who are the suppliers, investors, logistical and partners? For some of us who are more creative content creators, coaches and consultants, Okay, you might not have logisticals, you might not have investors, but think about who are the key stakeholders in your business, and you want to create value creation for them. What's the key activities for the suppliers, investors, logistical partners? Okay, what are the key resources and capabilities? So, is it materials for you? Is it human resources, financial, network? What are the key resources and capabilities that you need? In my marketplace, key resources and capabilities are, design, copywriting, software tools and automation, analytical tools, freelancers. There's a lot of different key resources and capabilities that we need to be able to put our business model together. Profit, superior value offered to customers compared to competitors. Guys, seriously, knowing who your competitors are, what they're good at, what keywords they use, what do they do on social media, what's their marketing plan, what do their customers think of them, is a really great way for you to be able to set KPIs and actually be able to understand the types of profit that you can make within your business. Okay, looking at people, positive impact for the common interest in society, going back to that sustainability, the planet, positive impact on the environment, value capture, what's your cost structure, really thinking about, what is your cost center, what are the costs that you're going to incur, the revenue streams from the products and services that you sell, how many revenue streams are coming in from your business model, customer relationships, the relationship between a customer and the company, channels, touch points with customers, including how to review products. This is what we do, at Women in Digital Business. We really do teach you how to put together a strategic business plan, a digital sales funnel. So what we do is help you to create a customer journey, but we help you to create a number of touch points, a large number of touch points, where you think in very great detail, how am I going to make someone aware of me? How am I going to get them to consider me? Where will I engage? What channels will I engage on? How am I going to collect their email address or their cell number, and be able to keep nurturing those leads? Where and which channel will I convert on? How will I get them excited? How am I going to upsell them, downsell them, cross-sell them? How will I approach all my advocacies and my brand ambassadors to make sure that they can report how brilliant their journey's been, so I can use that content back down in the engagement and consideration stage? So it's about mapping out a customer journey in incredibly great detail, taking your whole business model into account, taking your value proposition, who your audience is, what you want to achieve, and really laying it out strategically to the point that you get this feeling in your stomach where you say, boom, I've got this. You get that aha moment. Okay, so the business modeling and going through all the things that I'm speaking about now, this is how really you're going to be able to see some of the roadblocks and some of the things that you would have completely missed by not understanding the business model canvas. And you've now got to figure those, mistakes, failures. But I love mistakes and failures. I think without mistakes and failures, you just simply can't grow. But in this community, we can limit them. So lastly is those customer segments, the target group. You need to understand what problem you solve for who. The who is your customer segments. You can have a target audience, but there'll be different segments in there. And those different segments, you can't have the same messaging and marketing to everyone because the message won't land. To create human to human in technology, where people are viewing your content or your product, or they're thinking about buying from you from a laptop, a phone, a tablet, it means that you need to send messages directly to each customer segment for them to really understand what you do. Okay, so the business model canvas is really made up of the value of creation, the value proposition, the value capture, and the value delivery. And there's different channels within that. So make sure you take a print screen, make sure you hang out in the community where there'll be a replay of this, and all these different areas of the business model canvas, I really want you to review in terms of your business model. Okay, and really think about, okay, how will this impact my business? Because I tell you what, it will have a direct impact on your actual marketing plan of how you're going to get customers. Okay, and it starts to put things into perspective for you. You stop thinking about let it just happen. It's going to happen one day. I'm just going to blow up. This gets you to strategically know how you're going to blow up and plan around it. It just doesn't happen like boom. For those of you it's happened too. You get there and sometimes you don't even realize you're there. Okay, it happens in little small steps to the point of one day you'll go from not being able to pay bills and be like, oh my God, I make 10K a month. I make 15K a month. What you'll find is the more money you make is the more money that you spend. or what you'll find is you've got so much catch up to do from being the entrepreneur that has been taking all the losses. You're not even realizing, because you might be servicing catch up stuff. So it's not till you get to the point where it's kind of like, okay, there's surplus left over out of all of this next month, that you really start to understand my business is working, it's growing. And the next thing is scaling. But we want to plan that whole journey out so it just doesn't come as a surprise for you. You're working intentionally, you've got KPIs, you've got goals to follow. Okay, so key principles is value is multifaceted. The 30 elements of your value fall into 4 categories: functional, emotional, life-changing, and social impact. You know, so when we are looking at creating content, one of the things we use a lot in this community is the Steve Blank formula. And there's just some key principles. The key blank formula gets you to really understand your business model, and it really gets you to understand how do you help your customer. So we help X to do Y by doing Z. And, you know, this is a great formula for in terms of producing content and really being able to get to your audience. The value proposition canvas blends together businesses. It blends together the strategy and brand strategy. Okay, so let's discuss. What are your thoughts? Have you got any questions? Please put them into the chat. I am going to stop sharing in the moment, because what I do want to talk to you about is our Empower Her program and our summit. I said at the beginning of this call, in fact, guys, let me stop sharing a minute. Let me come back to you. I'm back. Yeah, I really want to share to you about our summit, the Top 100 Black Powerful Women Summit. At the moment, and it's not just a summit, we've got the summit going on. Our community is going through strength to strength and growing. If there is anybody here that is interested in coaching, consulting, training, or mentoring inside the Women in Digital Business community, and they also want to explore about speaking at our Top 100 Women Summit, where we've got some real powerhouses of women doing some really soul lifted masterclasses and really getting you to take the mask off and figure out, you know, how do I get to where I'm going? So there's also the opportunity to speak at our summit. We're going to put the Become a link. I can't get it out today. A Become a Coach link into the chat. Once you click through, if you're interested, you're going to be greeted with an application. Please just fill the application form out, and we will get back to you to organize a call about either coaching or mentoring in our community, and or speaking at the Top 100 Black Women Summit that's going to be March 25th to 27th for International Women's Month. Okay, so make sure you fill the form out if you are interested. We're also going to be launching our new cohort of Empower Her. We'll be working with a handful of women to really help them build out their strategy and build out their customer journey. All of that, we will be offering some real great classes at the summit. So for those of you that might not want to speak or coach in our community or at the summit, please do make sure that you listen out as the tickets go on sale. Tickets are £199, but guess what? If you are a member of the Women in Digital Business community, we are going to be giving completely and utterly free tickets away. So make sure you join the Women in Digital Business community.